So it was my second day at a brand new job. I was super excited, man. This was it. I got up early, brushed my hair, brushed my teeth, got my suit and tie ready, fixed up my curly hair, and I was on fire, literally. On my way, I jumped in the car heading down from the South Bay area and heading up to Pasadena, California. Super fired up, as I said, and best of all, there was literally no traffic in the LA basin, which is extremely weird. But it was the case that everything was flowing for me this morning, and I had the right attitude, which I try to have it every day. But in this story, I basically said, hey, we got ourselves a hell of a role here. And this was a big position at Yahoo in California. In Southern California here. So I wanted to race up there and show up and show the best of me at all times, but certainly that morning, second day, and I knew that we probably are going to have some meetings that week, and so I was getting ready for that too, not knowing exactly when that was going to happen, but clearly I was the man for the job. And yes, I went through a fairly lengthy interview process through a outside third party, and got the job. Beside the point, here is what I want to get to. As soon as I sat down at my desk, smiling at my new comrades and kind of settling in a bit, I got a call. That call was from my new boss. And I was a little nervous about it, but I knew that it was probably actually the meeting I was hoping for that week to get settled in with my duties and tasks. Walked into the office. Hello. She was kind of serious, I noticed right off the bat. I have a very upbeat personality, so I try to match her. That's called mirroring, right? And once I sat down, she just went right down to business. And a little bit sort of taken aback by that. But hey, I've dealt with a lot worse. So she said, listen, here are some tasks that I want you to take care of. And one of those tasks, without getting into all of the detail, was sort of a mundane simple. And I didn't really recognize that as a very appropriate way of asking me. I felt like that was beneath me, frankly, and that she asked me this question and that she placed so much urgency on it and importance was also weird to me. You know, there were other things that were much bigger in terms of project size and scope, and what I felt was the appropriate importance. But nonetheless, she did say this, do this task, and we'll get back to you later on next steps. And I, again, was taken aback. I really just stood up from my seat. I seem to recall I was not sitting still, that's for sure. And I said, listen, I want to tell you something here. All throughout my life, and in business and personal, I've strived to be the best that I can for my job and for my people, for my team, for my family, for my friends. And here we are talking about a business task that is very, very simple, very, very straightforward. And there's a lot more that we should be doing here at this particular junction. And I don't think we are prioritizing this correctly. And I tried to get some interaction on this particular topic, some collaborative interaction, I should say. And the conversation just did not jive. It did not move. She was very matter of fact. I didn't like her personality. They had said that she was kind of tough and rough and tumble, and that if you get along with her, she can be great. She is probably great, actually, but if you get on the wrong side of her lane, you're gonna get smacked. And I felt like I was being smacked day two. I was having such a great morning, and everything seemed to just come slamming down hard on this one particular task. And yes, the task was a very simple copy and paste situation. I guess I should say that now, not holding you hostage on what that particular thing was. And it was a fairly complex file directory, Windows at the time, but still, it was a copy and paste situation. And I basically stood up, as I said, from my seat, and I said, listen, And I said it very specifically here. If you are going to hire me to do a copy and paste, and that's it, I don't think you need me. In fact, it would be poor advice to keep me, because I am not a copy and paste person. That's literally what I said. If you want copy and paste, go somewhere else. I'm not a copy and paste person. I need to repeat that because I remember it so well. And she was taken aback a little bit by this now, because here is where the rejection came in. I was rejecting her attitude. Her task was a reasonable one in terms of getting the job done for somebody else, not for me. Especially because I came from a programming/tech background. I could automate and program whatever she needed rather than simply a copy and paste job, which again, I was beneath me. So when I came back strong like this, she got quiet, as I can recall. And she said, well, I guess we don't have much to talk about here. And I said, yeah, I am ready to walk. I can see myself out. That's not a problem. And I can move on from here. And at least we tried. And so I literally just walked out of the office, and it was sort of somewhat short, curt. It wasn't a pleasurable kind of exit there, I should say. And so I thought that was it. I am done here. And this was a great opportunity, as I said. I had psyched myself up for this. I'd gone through the interview process, and I was simply floored. I couldn't believe that this was happening, but I was going to stand up for myself and really let her know and let the company know that, yeah, I don't take any sort of below the belt type of punches, but at the same time, I think they may have hired wrong. Maybe there's another opportunity for me, but I couldn't see that at the time. My head was spinning. I was thinking all kinds of stuff here, and it wasn't positive at all. So essentially, I just sat at my desk for a little bit. I think I may have actually hung out to about lunchtime. Yes, that's what I do remember now. And going out with some new friends that I just met at the job. And once I was out at lunch, I told them the story, and they said, yeah, don't worry about it. She is like that, or can be like that. And you have a lot more to do here, so I wouldn't be so quick to just dismiss this as a one and done type of deal. So I said, well, I stand my ground. If she feels rejected, then that's fine. I don't want to be here under these conditions. So coming back from lunch and sitting down at my desk, I'm kind of ready to finish up my day early, and it's my second day. And again, back to the incredible opportunity. Why would I be so sensitive to this? Well, this is what my message is about here today. I don't want you to ever think less of yourself just because you're in a great opportunity to try and fit in or to do something that you don't like or that is beneath your skill set. So that's where I was coming from. And lo and behold, just sitting there hanging out, I got a little bit more reasonable in my mind that I should probably talk to her and let her know where I'm coming from. But I do not recall me going back into that office. I seem to recall that she came to me at the open floor plan there as we had it up in Pasadena and saying, hey, we need to talk. We basically think that you are a great candidate for this position. We don't want to lose you. If you feel you don't want to do the copy and paste job and that it's beneath you, we can find somebody else. And I said, thank you for that honest kind of approach and direct conversation. But here's the truth. It's not the task. We can do a copy and paste job. I can do that. I can help you automate it. We can make this a seamless interaction. It's the fact that I walked into your office on the second day of my job and you're sort of matter of fact and say, listen, we just need you to do a copy and paste job. I didn't get a sense of direction, any goals and priorities, timelines, et cetera, et cetera. It felt very much like just a little, what do you call it? One of those factories where you're just sitting there stapling or doing repetitive tasks over and over, this is not who you hired. And so she basically came back and said, sorry, I don't think she said sorry. She was not that kind of person. She said, I understand. We want to clear this up. We want to help you get situated here and understand that some of our goals may not align with yours personally, directly initially, but we're going to build a good resource here for you, a good team, and we hope that you can lead this team in the years coming. So basically that was the resolution that we came back to, that we're going to be doing all of this, and that I'm going to help them automate and systemize many of these processes. And fast forward, ended up being a great 2.5-year opportunity with one of the great companies, which was Yahoo. And I think that if I had not set the stage here early on of, and again, don't get me wrong here, I was being direct as well, but I wasn't being combative in the sense that I was rude and, insensitive. I was just like, I don't want to do that in a very sort of friendly way, if I can say it that way. And so the lesson here is that you should not take anything or do anything that's beneath you and or doesn't fit your skill set or doesn't fit your timeline in terms of your career. And so while she felt the rejection, that is the message today, she got rejected, it ended up being a great outcome for both of us, actually, because we ended up becoming friendly enough, ended up at company parties, and we always laughed at that first meeting where I was being right back in her face about some of these simple tasks, and it was more about setting the stage for how we progress going forward rather than simply not wanting to do a task. And this I have applied to many things in my life and business after that. And so you come off with a much stronger authority and leadership purpose for how you progress and how you see your situation going forward. So coming off as this strong leader and somebody who's also very much a team player, we built a team of about 11, 12 people there, is going to be very, very important for your career. So I hope you take this lesson and think about it. Have you actually been in a situation like that, where you have stood up for yourself very sort of directly and maybe in a very uncomfortable way, especially perhaps on a second or third or first week at a job, and just calling somebody out like that? Well, I'd like to hear from you. Any comments, any feedback at all, I'd love to hear your story, because these stories, they help form you as a character in life and for your business. And if you have it, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm enjoying making these videos and some of these stories from my business life, unscripted here. I have some bullet points right over here, but I haven't really followed those too much today. So hope you enjoy it. I really enjoy making these for you. And also, I just want to add that sometimes in a job situation like what I had there, you'll meet different people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different race, religions, and you may not know and will not know all of this. And so you need to tread carefully, because their background is going to most likely be very different than yours. And when I say very different, sometimes very, very, very different. And you need to be sensitive to that. And in this case, I have to agree, I wasn't really too sensitive or too worried about it or too caring about it, which I probably should. She is definitely from another culture/background than mine, other than when you're in the moment. And this is why I wanted to add this little extra bit here. When you're in the moment and you get agitated, you might get angry, you might get sort of sideswiped as I got there. You need to make sure that you stay professional, you stay cool, and you stay within the moment and try and address the problem head on. And I did that by saying, listen, you may have hired incorrectly here. I am not the man for the job. So that was a very clear message. But you know what? If I went back now and this happened again to that time, knowing what I know now, I mean, this is hindsight is 2020. What I would have done is I said, hey, listen, let's write these things that you want down on a piece of paper. In fact, let me take the notes. Tell me what you want and let me review it. And what does later today look like, or tomorrow? I'd like to go out for a quick bite or a coffee and just kind of go through my findings and some of my thoughts here. And we can take it from there. How does that sound? A much more collaborative sort of team dynamic, if you will, on that particular interaction. That would have been much smarter, much better, and again, raised my own self to kind of a leadership position in terms of my approach. Now, of course, there's many variables that get thrown into this mix. One is time. If she then came back and said, yeah, sounds good, let's take some notes here, but keep in mind, I need this done by today, end of day today. So we can talk tomorrow or, midweek over lunch or coffee, but I need this done today. And if you're telling me you can't do it today, then we have a problem. Then, of course, now, knowing what I know now, I would just let the timer work for me. So, 1 through 10 or 10 through 0, count down, breathe for a moment, then come back and say, listen, we can get this done today. I just want to make sure that we're aligned here and that we have everything kind of matching up. So let me take some notes for the specific tasks. I'll go back to my desk and I'll make sure that, it matches with your requirements. And then if I could just stop by for 5 minutes in about an hour and review everything, I think we can get this done. Now, this is a much softer approach, and it sounds like I'm backing off of kind of this whole idea of standing up for yourself. I'm really not. This is just an additional bit of video here that I wanted to share with you to let you know that there's a different approach that you can take here entirely. While you should stand up for yourself and not be struck down by somebody who thinks they're above you, certainly in business, it's also time and a moment to reflect on, okay, what are a couple of options here? I can take option A, which is this in-your-face kind of attitude, which I had a bit of back then, or maybe if you spoke to her, she'd say a lot. Or option B is, hey, let me collaborate with you on this. Let me make sure that I make some good notes, take some good notes, and that we can reconvene here in about an hour or so. What that does, it leaves room for just things to calm down a bit. It also leaves room for you, and me in that case, to make some notes and think about this, and then come back with the strategy and an estimated timeline. So even if the urgency was there, you could still work within that. So that's my final thoughts on this whole experience. But I do know that she got rejected. And I do know that this whole getting rejected bit can be very sensitive and is sensitive. It certainly was for me as well. And I wanted to share some of the learnings. And again, below in the video, if you can add some comments to what you have experienced, I'd love to hear from you. I love making these videos. Have a great day, evening, or night.